Coming up on today's show, we're checking out an Italian spot where it's all in the family. Find out what these dishes are all about.
Plus, how about some El Paso Juarez-style burritos right here in San Antonio? How you can get your hands on them.
Ooh la la. And your late night eats just got more flavorful. The noodle spot that has everyone talking. Keep it right here because On the Menu starts right now.
Welcome back to On the Menu. I'm Justin Calderon.
And I'm Kristen Urban. How about we kick off this flavor journey with some authentic Italian flavors from a family-owned spot.
And Kristen, I know you made a trip out to Naples and got all those tasty details.
We're diving into a classic Italian dish. And so we want to dive into all the flavors. I know people at home are still making their plans. So what are we going to be making today? I understand you were talking a little bit about chicken parm.
We're going to be making chicken parmesan. Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so what goes into it here?
So we're going to have fresh chicken breasts, right? We're going to be using our homemade tomato sauce, pomodoro, made from scratch. It takes about 4 to 5 hours to do. Nothing but tomatoes, a little bit of onions and garlic. We're going to be baking the chicken and some flour, a little bit of egg yolk, homemade Parmesan breadcrumbs, mozzarella cheese, parsley, and obviously Parmesan cheese, right?
Okay, this sounds very simple, but also elevated with the fresh tomatoes and everything. So let's get right into this. I'm going to get out of your way so we can start here. But you tell me if you want me to help with anything.
Why don't we do one each?
Okay, we'll do one each. So I'll let you come over here, and I'm going to go over here. Okay, so you want to take this one? I'll take this one.
All right, so we're going to get flour on both sides, right?
Okay. So the flour before the egg.
Flour before the egg, correct.
I've been making chicken parm wrong this whole time. Okay, this is very helpful. And does that help the egg stick?
That's the whole thing. Yes,
okay.
It's gonna help the egg
So I'm
stick.
gonna watch you do this.
So we're gonna just bait it, and we're gonna make sure we let it drain for a little bit. We're gonna make sure there's no excess on it. Then we're gonna move into the breadcrumbs.
Okay, so you have it on the breadcrumbs. So I'm gonna coat mine right now. Okay, and while mine's draining, I'll let you move forward with yours.
So we're just gonna make sure we got a good amount of bread on both sides, right? And after that, we're gonna go straight to the fryer.
Oh, straight to the fryer. Okay, perfect. Okay, let's look at that. How long does this take to cook? Because I noticed that, did you pound down this chicken?
We did pound it out, So a chicken breast usually get about 4 pieces. On the fryer, if you keep it at 350 degrees, it take about 3 to 4 minutes, right, to cook evenly.
If someone's had a busy week and they're like, you know what, I just didn't make that reservation. If they wanted to make this at home, would you just put a pan with maybe a thin layer of oil?
Just oil, yeah. It doesn't have to. It can be pan fried. It's better to be pan fried. Just a little bit of olive oil on the bottom. Make sure it's nice and brown on both edges. You can do a little slit in the middle to make sure it's cooked evenly. All right, you don't want to get sick. And it's really simple. You can get the tomato sauce. Like I said, if you make it at home, it doesn't take long.
Okay.
Just a couple of cans, just onions, garlic. And it's a really simple process, right?
Yes, for sure. And so Little TV Magic, we already have a few ready to go right here. So I'm seeing kind of this golden brown, beautiful color right now. And so this is kind of what people at home should be looking for, right?
Right, that's right. This is it.
Perfect.
So what we're gonna do now, right? We're gonna get a little bit of homemade tomato sauce.
Ooh, and this is the fresh pomodoro, you
Fresh
said.
pomodoro, correct. Pomodoro just means tomato.
Yeah.
All right, and then we're gonna put a little bit on the bottom. Right, then we're gonna go put a little bit on the top.
Wow.
Right, really nice and easy. Okay.
And then you got the mozzarella.
Mozzarella, but first, we're gonna make sure we put the Parmesan cheese on it.
Oh, parm and mozzarella. Okay,
Parmesan
very
cheese.
tasty.
That's the secret right here.
That's the secret right there. Okay, you can never have enough cheese.
Then we'll do the mozzarella on top. Right, and we're gonna go ahead and put a little bit of parsley on it.
Beautiful.
Okay.
And as we finish plating this up, we can't ignore those dishes that I was showing at the top of the show. So for people, if they come out here to Naples, can you tell me a little bit about what they can expect from your menu options?
Yes, so we have the most traditional items listed right here. We have heart-shaped raviolis. We made them especially for this weekend.
Aww.
Okay. Then we have our traditional lasagna, which we've done it before a couple of times. It's great. It's our top seller. It takes about 20 minutes in the oven. All right. Then we have our traditional chicken piccata, lemon caper white wine sauce. And your pasta. Another popular dish will be the fettuccine, and you can add shrimp, you can add chicken, you can put salmon on top, whatever you prefer. You have different options. Okay. Another thing for the ladies, really popular with the ladies, or fresh mozzarella salad, right? So it's pretty much sliced tomatoes / fresh mozzarella, basil, olive oil, capers, a little bit of basil, salt, pepper. And we're going back to our roots, Sicily. These are homemade Sicilian arancinis, right? So they're rice balls, and you can stuff them with pretty much anything you want. Traditionally, we do ham, beef, and mozzarella.
This all looks so tasty. So if the people at home, they want to check this all out, how can they find Naples? I know you're off Huebner Road.
We're in Huebner and Bitters. They also can go to our website, Facebook, Instagram, all of our social media, right? So, and it's really easy. Just, look us up.
Justin, it's no secret. The whole team knows chicken parm is your favorite. That looks so good.
It absolutely is, and that looks delectable.
Yes, and we'll have to stop by there sometime, but how about something to wash it down with? I made my way behind the bar as well and shook up, I don't know if you've heard of this, an Italian-style margarita. Check it out. So for the people at home who are wondering, what is this Italian twist? What all is going into this cocktail we're making?
Okay, so we are gonna have a tequila, which we are gonna be doing Don Julio. We are gonna have the Di Serrano and the Cointreau. We're also gonna be adding some orange juice, simple syrup, and some lime.
Okay, let's get right into it. What's the first step?
Okay, so first I'm gonna be adding the tequila.
Okay, and how much of that will you be adding?
Be about an ounce.
Okay, about an ounce of tequila right there.
Alrighty, and then we are gonna add some Di Serrano.
Ooh, so it seems like there's a whole blend in here. So what kind of flavors is all of this bringing out?
It's gonna bring like a fruity, somewhat fruity.
Okay, kind of a fruity
Yes.
flavor. And then what would you say puts the Italian twist on this?
I would say it would be the Di Serrano.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. And then I know we have like some refreshing orange juice that's going in
Yes.
this as well. And so
Would
is
you like
that
to-
our next step?
Yes, would you
Okay,
like to add
perfect.
that?
So we'll
Thank
add some of
you.
that. That's a good amount. So you're getting a lot of fresh juice right there.
Yes.
And then a little sweetness as well.
Yes, ma'am. And then we're gonna be adding this as well, and half a lime.
And then the lime. So you're wanting like kind of a lot of citrus notes, it seems like.
Yes.
Okay, very refreshing. And then I could see this drink pairing super well with your dishes over here. Can you just tell me a little bit about that and how your dishes kind of pair with all of these different cocktails that we're seeing over here?
Yes, ma'am. All of our drinks?
Yeah.
So I would recommend the espresso martini with a dessert, maybe after you're done with your meal. This one would be great during your meal. And if you want something very refreshing, we also have a cucumber martini and a limoncello martini.
Okay, so
Yes.
a lot of refreshing things, because obviously when you think of Italian food, you're thinking of something a little bit more hearty, which we're seeing right over here. We have that chicken parmesan that we topped off as well, so that's the final product of that. And we're about to have the final product of this drink. So we
Yes.
have everything assembled. Are you throwing some ice in here as well?
Yes, we are going to be throwing some ice in here, and let me go ahead and add that.
And then what's the difference between when you're shaking up a drink and you're stirring up a drink?
So the difference, stirring up the drink?
Is it going to be like how cold it's going to make it? Because right now we're going to be shaking it with ice. Is that
Yes.
going to give it more of a chill?
Yes, so we're not going to be
So
straining it.
Yes,
We're going to be shaking it. Yes.
We're just shaking this one.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Alrighty.
And then for the people at home, they're seeing these drinks, they're seeing these Italian eats. They want to know where they can find y'all. I understand you're off Huebner Road.
Yes, ma'am. We are on 16535 Huebner Road.
Well, Christen, I've had a lot of margaritas in my life, but never an Italian-inspired one. That looked really good.
Yeah, it was really fun to make the cucumber martini. It looked really good too. If y'all want to check out Naples Italian, they're located once again at 16535 Huebner Road, Suite 104.
And after the break, we are diving into some Juarez-style burritos. On the menu, we'll be right back. Welcome back to On the Menu. Well, Christen, you know San Antonio serves up a mean burrito.
No doubt, Justin.
But how about an El Paso Juarez-style burrito? Sounds good right now. Roma caught up with Burritos Frontera and got herself a taste.
What do you say we get to making you some delicious Mexican breakfast right now? A local chef is turning his love for his heritage and family into Juarez-style burritos. I welcome Jorge Alberto Flores with Burritos Frontera. He is the owner, he is the chef, and he is the mastermind behind this burrito pop-up that sells out every time, right, Jorge?
Yes, we are very fortunate. We've been super welcomed by the city. We love it.
Yes.
This is we're about to turn a year actually here in the city. And so we cannot thank the city enough for all the love and support that they've shown to us.
Well, I think they give you so much love and support because of your story. You lost both of your parents, most recently your father, who is the big why for starting
Correct.
Burritos Frontera.
And you'll see him right here, and you'll see him in the logo as well, Roma. It was something that my dad and I I grew up with eating burritos right after Mass. And it was a tradition on Sundays, burritos, and then go watch Liverpool or America, all that stuff, And so my father lost the battle of cancer in 2024. Before that, my mom lost it in 2007. And so this is a note to them of what I grew up eating, the guisados that my mom showed me how to do, plus the tradition of keeping the burritos alive on Sundays with my dad.
How beautiful. Listen, let me hold back the tears right now. God bless your parents. God bless you for continuing their legacy with these wonderful flavors, because I truly feel when you eat food, you can remember someone and you can hear their voice almost, right? So you hand make everything. You're making the tortilla right now.
So what we call this is a tortilla gordita, which is typically a little fatter than your typical tortilla in any other part of the country.
Okay.
Each ball weighs about 90 grams, so it is a pretty hefty little ball, right?
Okay, but you need that to be able to stuff a burrito.
To be able to stuff it, yeah. And you'll see, if you want to touch it, it's a little like floury, right?
Yes, it
because
is.
What this is going to do, it's going to hold up a lot of the guisado, and it needs to hold it because it's going to be juicy, it's going to be heavy, and so if you want to transport that, it has to be able to withhold all those things.
Man, this is truly a science. I thought burritos, you get the tortilla, you just make them as delicious as you can. But look, I already see it's bubbling. Isn't that a good sign?
That's a really good sign, yeah. You always want a comal to be really hot, right? And all these little bubbles are pockets of fat, right? And so we do them with manteca, just the way we grew up eating, and you'll see, like, it'll tell you when it's kind of ready, kind of let it speak to you.
Okay. So. That is delicious. And I know you collab with so many local small businesses in San Antonio.
Yes, we do. We've been very lucky to be housed. We do what is called a pop-up, right? And it means we use the kitchens or space of these restaurants, of these coffee shops around the city, to name some of them. We started with Reese Bros, which used to be my home, and then Gold Coffee as well. Shout out to them, and then we're gonna have an event next week with Wild Barley.
Which let's get to that while the tortilla is still cooking up.
Yes.
So y'all see this can of beer. It is an exclusive beer that has actually Jorge's father's photo on it right here, an actual photo of his father. That is also your logo.
Yes.
What inspired this collaboration here?
Well, we have a saying that la carta siempre estuvo, right, which is la carta blanca, and it was what my father and I would drink, and hence the logo and all that stuff. And what better way than make a note of what my dad and I,
that is so special.
Used to do. So this is where we want right now.
Oh, the tortilla.
Right?
Okay.
Tortilla right now. You'll see these pockets.
It looks so good, Jorge. Wow. I love the puffiness.
Usually, what we start to do is every time there's an order at Frontera, we'll do like a Starbucks theme where people take pictures of the bag.
Okay.
So we'll usually write.
Woo, Ken's 5, baby. Okay.
And then we'll usually write what it is.
Okay,
Correct,
so
right?
what is it today?
So today we're gonna have a chicharrón verde.
Ooh.
The chicharrón that we have typically is chicharrón not only with the pork skin, but we also use a pork belly.
Oh, wow.
Which you're gonna start to see a little bit more of that texture that you want,
Okay, I got your lid, so you go ahead and get to assembling. You put chile verde in there.
Yes,
I see beans in your
spicy.
Beans are in your chicharrón as well?
Beans are in the chicharrón as well. And so what we want is you're gonna have your spread of beans.
Oh, delicious, y'all. I'm telling you, you gotta go to the next pop-up. I need to make my way there.
So you always want a healthy amount, right?
Okay.
And then vámonos.
The goods are going in.
And you want it to be always nice and hot. And this is a perfect example. You're gonna weigh this burrito in a bit.
You weigh it?
Well, no, you're gonna weigh with your hand. You're gonna be like, this is pretty heavy.
Okay,
but
you know when you feel it in your hand.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And the tortilla now is gonna be rolled, right?
Okay.
But it has to withstand that.
Yes, let's see. Let's see if he can make it. Wow.
So you roll it.
Okay.
Put the corners in.
And that's it.
And this is it. And then this one will have your CH for chicharrón.
Okay. You need the bag?
Por favor.
Okay, claro que sí. Here we go.
And so we'll put these, right? We'll put it here. And then all the other ones that Ken's 5 ordered. And then what we do, you'll see here, we have candy and salsas. And this comes in every bag. And so this is to us a little postre, a little spice. And we usually have serranos as well, just in case people want that extra kick.
Oof. Do you eat the serranos?
Oh, absolutely.
I'm a big wuss, but
So-
maybe for you, I will try a bite.
This salsa is really special too. It's coffee, garlic, and chipotle as well,
Wow.
with lime juice. It's really, really nice.
I mean,
and then
oh,
these
wow.
are
The chiclets.
chiclets. My mom, that was her favorite. So I feel like I have a little bit both of my mom and my dad in a bag.
This is
So-
beyond special, Jorge. Thank you for sharing
you.
your story and your recipe.
That is so neat how they're bringing all those flavors from home and their family right here to San Antonio. That's really cool.
Oh, absolutely. And that looks like one of the most tastiest burritos I've ever seen. But guys, if you want to check them out, you can go on Instagram at Los Burritos Frontera on Instagram.
But y'all stick around because we're talking all things late night ramen and traditional Japanese flavors. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to On the Menu. There's a spot here in San Antonio that's serving up late night eats with a name that ties back to older Japanese animes.
This spot sounds super unique, and I know you made the trip out to Kaidama Battleship and poured up some noodles yourself.
I'm joined by Alex Roth. He's the culinary director over here at Kaidama Battleship. How are you doing this morning?
Doing great, how are you?
Hey, this ramen is waking me up, I'll tell you that. So I understand we're going to be diving into all of these flavors, but I have to ask you first, for our viewers at home, it's all in the name. What does this mean, Kaidama?
So Kaidama is Japanese for extra noodles. So if you were to go to a ramen shop in Japan and you eat all your noodles but you have more broth left, like that's how you would order a second helping of noodles to go with the rest of your broth.
Okay, and I bet the flavors are so great. You have people asking for those second helpings. And then for people at home, what's in the name Battleship?
Mostly we just thought it sounded funny, and it's kind of a contrast to the interior where it's very like minimalistic. The name is a little over the top.
Yeah.
I
love
thought it was funny.
I love it, and I feel like these noodles hopefully are over the top as well. But now that we've kind of set this up, we got to dive into these flavors. What do we have all going on over here?
Yeah, so we're behind the line now. So the flow kind of works like the noodles will be cooked over here, and then we work our way down and we put the broths, garnish, and then send them out.
Let's work our way through it. So we're going to start over here with the noodles, and do you have the
Correct.
broth over here as well? What's
I
going
do.
into the specific bowl we're going to make first?
So we're gonna do the tonkatsu first. It's a pretty classic ramen. It's a pork-based one. It has like a very rich and creamy broth. Even though there's no dairy in it, it's just like the emulsified fats and everything. And
Okay, and so
this
what
one
kind
over
of
here.
flavor is that giving? Kind of like a salty or sweet?
It's definitely salty and heavy on like the savory. But yeah, very rich, and it's a very
Yeah.
hearty bowl. Like especially the weather that we just got through was like perfect weather
For
for
sure.
that.
And so are we doing noodles first?
Yeah, so we'll go ahead and go in with the noodles first.
And so those are very thin, so I assume that those cook pretty quickly.
Yeah, these cook in 45 seconds.
And so as we're plating this, what inspired you to open up a late night ramen spot? I know that that's something San Antonio definitely needed.
Yeah, and that's mostly what led us to do it. We had a couple opportunities in the past to do ramen shops that we weren't able to, and Hot Joy always had some pretty good success with ramen, and so when we had the opportunity to move into this space, we just thought
And then-
downtown San Antonio needed a ramen spot.
Yes,
so.
and what all is in the menu over here? I know you got a lot of different options, but what was the goal of some of these flavors?
Just to bring more classic style ramens to this shop. We kind of wanted it to contrast Hot Joy, which is very over the top and a little more ambitious with the menu sometimes. Very colorful, very maximalist. And here, we kind of wanted to do the opposite, and instead of
It's minimal.
correct.
It's
And yeah,
minimal, and you
it's-
see that even just in the atmosphere over here. I noticed that it's just very minimal. And were you trying to kind of embody like a certain atmosphere here when you went with this minimalistic style?
Yeah, I mean, the main atmosphere we want to be able to provide is just a fun place for people to hang out. And, you know, we've got a bunch of different concepts in Empty Stomach, and this one just felt the need to be a little more low-key. The music volume will go up on the weekends and stuff, but it's a lot more tame music. It's a lot of like Japanese funk and that kind of stuff.
And I feel like there's not a lot of minimalist places in San Antonio, so it's a nice like little vibe in here. And so what are we topping this with?
Right, so we'll go in with, these are our house-made, we call them battleship greens.
I love it.
They're a braised collard green. They're braised in like soy sauce and cane syrup, sesame.
Whoa, so you're getting sweet, you're getting salty.
Absolutely.
That probably packs a punch. And then what else is going on top of this?
So I actually forgot it over here.
Yeah.
But we'll come and grab a couple slices of our chassu pork belly.
Pork belly. And
Correct.
so that is really thin. So when you're putting it in the hot broth, does it kind of cook it a little bit? How does that work?
It does. We normally throw it in the salamander to get a little bit of color on it.
Okay. And then is there anything else that's being added to this bowl before it's served?
Yeah, so we'll finish it off over here.
Okay, I'm seeing some more greens over here.
Correct. So we have green onions, which again go on every bowl.
Ooh, and so that's probably just going to give a little freshness as well.
Correct. And we have menma, which is a fermented bamboo shoot.
Okay, I see this in a lot of Thai dishes, and so is that just to add like a little bit of texture to your bowl?
Yeah, it's texture. It is fermented, so it has some acidity and some salt, and it's definitely a good like contrast to the richness of the broth.
Okay, and then I see some things over here. Is anything else being added to this bowl?
Yes, so each bowl of tonkatsu will get a half ajitama, which is a marinated soft egg.
What's it marinated in?
It's marinated in soy sauce, whiskey, brown sugar, garlic, ginger, green onion.
Whoa, whiskey marinated egg. I've actually never seen something like that. So literally just pop in with flavor.
And Christen, you're making me hungry with those noodles right now, and this place is so cool. It looks like it's bringing a lot of culture to San Antonio.
For sure, those warm noodles, they just want to make you come back for more, right? And lucky for us today, there was more we dove into at Kedama Battleship. Let's go back out there. Alex, what are we getting into now?
So we're gonna walk through our chicken Sapporo ramen. It's a chicken-based ramen, and the Sapporo comes from the fact that once we make the chicken broth, we add some Sapporo beer to it and cook it down. And it gives it a different flavor than just a regular like roasted chicken stock.
Let's get into it. Okay, I can't help but acknowledge these massive chopsticks. Are these kind of helping you with the noodles over here?
Absolutely. So the basin for our noodle boiler is pretty deep, so it helps keep the noodles moving so they don't stick to each other. I pretty much cooked these through already. So just
once again, a thin noodle, so that probably, you have somebody coming in here late at night and they're gonna have their noodles fast.
Correct. Yeah, the noodles cook in, these ones cook in about 1.5 minutes. So super quick.
And so tell me a little bit about this base. This is kind of funky looking.
Yeah, so the solid stuff is gonna be a yuzu, which is like a Japanese citrus, yuzu brown butter. And then we have our yuzu. The liquid is like a yuzu seasoning that goes on the bottom, and the broth itself is unseasoned, so this just provides
the flavor,
the salinity, some acidity, because it's also yuzu based.
Okay, and so you're throwing the noodles in there right now.
Correct.
And then you said this is more of like a, I don't want to say basic, but like more of like a subtle broth that you're adding.
Yeah, for sure. Like it's very yuzu oriented, and you'll definitely taste that, but it's it's pretty tame. It's not super salty.
Okay, and how much? Like a spoonful?
We can do probably 2 of those.
Okay, this is hot broth. I want to be very careful with you, Alex.
You're good.
All right. So we got 2 of these going. It's piping. It's piping. I love it.
Perfect.
Beautiful. Okay, and so I assume we're going to walk over to this area where you kind of have all your toppings going. What toppings are being put on this one?
So just like with the tonkatsu that we did earlier, we'll add our flagship greens. Soy braised collard greens. They're very savory and have a pretty good sweetness too, because we add cane syrup to the mix.
Okay, and while we're topping this, I want to acknowledge as well, I noticed that this grew over the past 20, 25 minutes.
Correct.
What did you add over here? Are those pot stickers and maybe some salad and stuff going?
Yeah, so these are, our menu here is pretty limited for now, but these are a couple more options. So starting from the left over there, it's the double miso ramen. After the tonkatsu, it's probably our second most popular. Miso based, so it's vegan. And then we have our dessert that we currently have on menu. It's a yuzu Basque cheesecake, courtesy of Extra Fine.
Okay.
They make the desserts for all of our spots. Then we have beef dumplings with a tomato ponzu, and then a charred onion, pickled ginger, and green onion, like salad situation on top. This is our battleship salad. It's just iceberg lettuce, but it's mixed with Japanese pickled cabbage and carrots, and it has like a ginger sesame dressing. It's super good.
It looks bomb.
Everyone should get one when they come in here.
And then I know you want to keep it really simple over here as well. So when it comes to your alcohol, it just pairs really well with the Japanese flavors, and it's simple, right?
Correct. Yeah, we offer a handful of sakes right now. We do offer a hot sake as well. We sold a lot of that when it was cooler outside, but the cold sake is obviously when it's a little warmer out. Do a little better,
Yeah.
cool you off a little bit, and also act as a counterpoint to the super rich broth.
Yeah, and I know people are watching this and they're like, how do I find Kaidama Battleship? How can they find you? How can they check out all of these flavors?
So we are off of Houston and Soledad in the Savoy building next to Buns. Right down the street from Leo's and Double Standard, if you're familiar with those spots.
Yeah.
And if you do come down here, you mentioned that we're late night. We are open till midnight every night, but we also open at 11 in the morning.
Okay.
So we are open for lunch. And
Yes.
anyone out of downtown coming down here,
Yes.
we do validate parking in the Ram Garage. So.
Perfect. Well, Alex, thank you so much for your
sure.
time today.
Dang, Christen, all those dishes look super tasty, but I know the question on everyone's mind is, how good are you with chopsticks, really?
Well, I should have asked for those. They were like this big. I was like, that's like a collector's item. I should go and get some next time for sure. And if y'all want to check out Kaidama Battleship, they're located at 122 East Houston Street, Suite 103.
And thank you so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed exploring some of San Antonio's best bites, sips, and local favorites.
Tune in next time to see what else we'll have on the menu.